Mukashi, long ago, there lived a tea master. His name was Rikyu, and he had many students, apprentices, and they used to have a tea party. And one day, one of the students invited him for the tea party. Master, I would like you and my friends to come to my tea party. Well, the master was delighted because this was his first time anyone have ever invited him for the tea party. So he brought some of the students with him. One by one, they came into the tea garden. This boy's name was Chikuan. He had a bamboo hat in his garden. So, bamboo hat Chikuan, he prepared the tea rooms. He prepared the tea garden, woke up early in the morning, shook some maple trees, and got everything beautiful, clean, ready for the guests to arrive. Have you ever been to Japan? In Japan, if you find a tea garden, please go in and you'll find a tea house there. Usually the tea house have a small hall, like a small entrance called Nijiriguchi. It's like a hobbit hall. You have to bow to get inside. Well, this rule was made by Rikyu, the master. At that time, about 350 years ago, there were different classes, hierarchies. So Master Rikyu decided even emperor will bow to get inside to this tea room. Samurai warriors, shoguns, everyone will have to bow to get inside. And inside the tea room, we are all equal as one human being. And weapons like samurai sword, they're just too long. They wouldn't go inside the tea room. Well, symbolically, it means that just you, please come inside the tea room. Chikuan started making the tea. He picked up the teaspoon, but his hand was shaking. Oops! And he dropped the teaspoon on the tatami mat. Tatami mat is made of grass. Seeing this, the student giggled. Chikuan dropped. He dropped the teaspoon on the tatami mat. Master Rikyu remains silent. And ceremony continued. Next, Chikuan picked the hot tea pot and he tried to pour hot water into the tea bowl, but he spilled the hot water onto the tatami mat. Oops. Seeing this, students giggled. Chikuan spilled the hot water again, and on the tatami mat. But the master Rikyu remains silent. And then the ceremony continued. Next, Chikuan picked the tea container and opened the lid. But he couldn't resist the biggest sneeze came out from his mouth. Achoo! As you can imagine, the powdered tea scattered everywhere. And we were all covered with green tea powder. Chikuan's friends giggled, except the master Rikyu remains silent. In the end of the tea ceremony, Master Rikyu bowed very deeply to Chikuan and said to Chikuan, Chikuan, thank you so much for inviting us today for your beautiful tea party. You are the best tea man in the whole country. What? Students jumped. Our master is telling lies. Chikuan dropped the teaspoon and he spilled the hot water on the tatami mat. And not only that, look at us. We all agree. He had the biggest sneeze. Kshum! So, in the end of the day, they had great tea and sweets and say goodbye to each other's. On the way back home, student asked the master Rikyu, Master, why did you say Chikuan is the best tea man in the whole country? Why did you lie like that? He dropped the teaspoon, and he spilled the hot water, and he had the biggest sneeze. And Master Rikyu replied, Well, everybody, listen, what is the most important thing in a tea ceremony? And here is a question for you. What do you think is the most important thing in the Japanese tea ceremony? I'm sure you have all those amazing answers, and those are all right. Thank you. At that time, 350 years ago, Rikyu the master said, the most important thing in the tea ceremony is just make a cup of tea from your heart to your friends, to your families, and to those people who you have never met before and meeting for the first time. And everything else, the manner, the way of tea follows next.